This is my fourth time doing this video. Some don't want me to produce this video for some reason. First part is going to be about political corruption. Second part will be about some bullshit Brother Ben X put out on Instagram. I just read about this guy that he was an Interpol chief, and he supposedly embezzled like $2 million. And I had read about a guy who embezzled a bunch of money from HBCU, black college in the United States. And, you know, I guess the fact that I come from money, and my life is really a rags to riches story. You know, it's a riches to rags story. And, you know, I was dumb. I think I was mentally damaged, and, you know, nobody wants to hear that shit. My mom passed, and I was fucking around, I was doing drugs, frowning people like that. And I look back and I realized there's several times I could have wound up being a felon very easily. It's very easy to fall into trouble when you're black and you're in those kind of areas. Very easy. It's not hard at all to really wind up in trouble. So anyway, I lost it all. Got a job 2012. Then I got fired. Fucked my record up for doing drugs and all stuff. Got a job back in 15, March 15. Since then, working my way up since March 15, and had little, you know, falls here and there, but I've kept moving. That's life, you know. You keep moving, you keep getting up, keep moving. And my attitude is like this, man. When you've got a position of authority where you can do some good, I respect that. I guess kind of like being a man on the outside, being a man on the edges, being a man on the edges of society. You realize you don't have a lot of power, and so when you're in a position of power, like I guess the little bit of power I've been given, I always go out of my way to help people because I've never really had any authority. People who abuse authority, it's really hard for me to understand them because it's like the world is fucked up as it is. Donald Trump, Brexit, these white mass shooters everywhere, Ebola popping up, climate change, nothing's being done about climate change. I mean, it's just, the world's fucked up. Why would you want to fuck it up more? Why would you want to, you know what I mean? Like, why would you, if you know there's fire out there, if there's a wildfire, why would you go out there and want to spread the fire? Why would you want to, no, I'm going to try to put the fire out. I'm going to try to, you know what I mean, create lines so they can't slow it down and stuff. Anyway, I just feel as though when it comes to people in authority, I expect the best. No less than the best. I was telling my dad about this woman that's a prison guard up in South Carolina that was sleeping with a prisoner and his baby. He was joking about it. I didn't find that funny. I think it's a joke. I think it's a miscarriage of justice. There's nothing funny about that. It makes her whole department look bad. It makes her slick look bad. Got a little bit of a chance. And see, that's why when black people get in positions of authority, things don't then necessarily get better for black people. Because you got a lot of black people who don't think like that, who they really do want to be like white people. You got a lot of black people out here who really, to them, the civil rights movement was simply about being able to sit on the same toilet as a white man and sleep with white women. That's it. A lot of black people out here, if you really get down to the bottom of it, is that you were beating the hell out of black people and that they couldn't sleep with white women or white men, whatever. That's it. And the world has changed. You have homosexuality out here now, you have other things, transgenderism, things like that. But when it comes down to it, what were you really fighting? What was King really fighting for? You're fighting to build a better world. You're fighting to build a place in that world for your people. Not to abuse your little bit of position you have. So then white people like, oh, black people ain't no good, and they're not. Yeah, man, yeah, black cops out here doing fucked up shit. You see this? Yes. That's not lies. That's truth. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. You know, I just, if you got a chance to do good, then do it. Take your and the world will swallow us all up. The world swallows us all up. But for that little bit of time you had, do some good. Help people. You know, I had a little gig they gave me the other day. This yard jockey stuff was pretty cool. Not far from my job, and wasn't a bad job. People asked me to move trailers for them and stuff. I was doing that. Wasn't a bad job at all. Not at all. Anyway, I personally feel like this, man. As a people, whether you're black, whether you're gay, whether you're immigrant, as a people who historically have not had any power, why would you then use a little bit you're given now? Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you use it for good? You know what I mean? I would be good in politics. All jokes aside, I really would. I'd be really good in politics. You know what I mean? I'm that guy that recognizes that if you're gonna do something like that, you gotta set aside your mistakes, your failures, whatever. You gotta set that aside, man. To do good, to do positive, to make the world a better place for everybody. Brother Ben X, he's a dude I was following on the Farrakhan stuff, Nation Islam. He come out with this straight pride, heterosexual and proud on Instagram. I'm not following him no more because of that. I thought it was a really nasty thing to say. And people were on there, I can't read it to you. People were on there talking about how, why would you say that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you say that? That's, to me, that's dumb. You know, that's white pride stuff. Well, they have the right to do it, and black people have been abused. That's the same logic White Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter uses. And they've got some legitimacy to it. Because you've had police officers out here been killed. You've had cop killers out here. You could make a point that there are people out here now who are trying to kill police officers. Yes. You can't prove to me they're not. Or there's not people right now that are fucking not well, that if a policeman pulls him over, he might go for the gun. You can't tell me it doesn't exist. But not everybody's like that. Straight pride is nonsense. Because no one's been killed for being straight. Okay? And they went to talking about how black men were raped and stuff back in the day. Okay. And there's a time and a place to say that. But when you say, I'm straight and I'm proud, that's an attack on homosexuals. It is. That's an attack on homosexuals. Because the people that were doing that wasn't about homosexuality. That was about humiliation. Men out here that want to live with other men, women that want to sleep with other women, they're not trying to humiliate Brother Ben X. They're not trying to humiliate the Nation of Islam. They're trying to live. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you, man. Who they want to sleep with, who they want to marry. So when you say that in the same month that folks are talking about, you know, the homosexual month, Pride Month or whatever, it's a slap in the face. That's what it is. It's a slap in the face. It's a little sneaky. And it's just, I guess I just thought he was better than that. That's just, to me, that's one of them Alex Jones type things. That they're trying to be, you know what I mean? That's like Alex, next he'll be doing videos, next he'll be doing what Alex Jones does. He'll be putting videos up on his site about some transgender guy somewhere who's probably not well, who's in a store, who's yelling, who's mad about somebody calling him a fag or something. I mean, I guess my thing is if you're black and you're like the Nation of Islam talks, then be about that. Be in your space. You know what I mean? There's no gay people out here trying to stop Nation of Islam. Not that I can see. There's no gay people out here marching against Farrakhan. I haven't seen that. I haven't. Pretty sure. And like I said, I guess I just expected better from him. People were on there talking about how, and I'm not gonna get, give me a second here. There was a white guy came on there, 420 or something, I think. He was talking about how when you do that in reference to Pride Month, it's just like when black people say Black Lives Matter and white people say White Lives Matter, or police say Blue Lives Matter. It's all about removing legitimacy from you, and it's all about downplaying what you're really saying. So Black Lives Matter don't matter, right? Do they matter? Do police lives matter? Which one matters more? That's what happens when you do that. You're basically look at all these transgender people getting murdered. Been like 4 or 5 of them in Texas alone this year. Year ain't even halfway out. Their lives don't matter. See, and that's why I can't follow his stuff, man. I wasn't mad. I think I was kind of disappointed at that. Yeah. I was a little disappointed. I thought Brother Ben X was better than that. And one of the guys was like, "Hey man, I'm with you on that." And they started calling him gay and stuff. He's like, dude was like, he's not. I looked at the say he's not gay. He's got a wife. And that's also stuff that Alex Jones tries to do. Is that anybody that questions you and puts forward good points, well then they're gay. Well then they support terrorism. Well then you're a communist. Then you're a faggot. That's what they do because they can't. He's using the tactic of the Caucasian. The Caucasian's a little different. When white men come at you, they come at you with sarcasm. That's what I learned about them. They always use sarcasm. Because white men can't take the chance that what you say, someone may listen and say, you know what? Joshua, you got a point. You know what? That may be true. Or he look up something later on. No. They can't have that. Like the cop out there in Wilmington where the guy's videotaping and the cop like, put it down. He's like, no, I'm a lawyer. Well, it's against the law. And the dude's like, I'm a lawyer. He's like, oh yeah, you're a lawyer. You drive Uber. I pull fuel tankers. I do work on the weekends. You got to pay the bills, baby. We live in a capitalist society. You know? I do work on the weekends. If I can show you. Damn it. Can you see it? Yeah, that's my damn credentials right there. I pull oil tankers and shit. You know? But I gotta pay my bills. See? You can see it. Yeah, I pull oil tankers. That's what I do. You know, but then when the dude started like giving him points back on it, he said, "Oh, getting all mad and all certain." That's what they do, man, because they can't take the chance that someone will listen and be like, "Well, you know, we got to put." See, really, man, they're devils, and that's what devils do. They're not coming at you straight. They're not coming at you with a pure heart. They're coming at you with nastiness, with hate. And for so long it was done with black people, but it's done white folks too. It's just like that. He didn't use sarcasm. Well, no, it is kind of like sarcasm, ain't it? To say straight pride. Because no straight people have been killed for being straight. And then one guy's like, well, you don't have to be gay. You can hide it. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie right there. Because if you have been around rednecks, if you're not walking around with coveralls on and dirty boots on, you're gay. They have a stereotype of what they sense to be heterosexual man. And if you're not that stereotype, they're going to act stupid towards you. So that bullshit right there, that don't hold water, man. Oh, and by the way, you do have black people that pass for white. Let me twist that whole narrative and let me turn it upside down, like this right here, like this vinegar right here. Let me turn it upside down here. You do have black people who hide. You do have black people who pass. Okay? You've had black women who marry white men and pass. Yeah. So all this bullshit you give me about you don't have to, you can be gay and hide it and all that. I guess I expected better from Brother Ben X. I really did. Because I guess he's trying to say that they make men gay by the movies or they make men gay by the... I don't see it that way. I think that you always had that and it was just people in the closet. And it's okay. This narrative, I guess he's saying that they're making black men in Hollywood gay. Well, is it that? Or is it just... First of all, these are grown men. Let's go ahead and say that right now. Going back to what I said earlier about slavery and buck breaking and all that. That wasn't homosexuality. That's like that. What he said, that's like saying if a man rapes a woman, that's heterosexual. She's heterosexual, right? If he holds her down and fucks her in the alley, she's heterosexual. You don't know that. She could be gay. She could be gay. She could be transgender. The act of rape is not an impulse. That's rape. Buck breaking has nothing to do with the modern day homosexual movement. And you know what it reminds me of him saying that? It reminds me of Jamaicans, their hatred of gay people, and how it's because of buggery, it's because they were raped, but that has nothing. So because a man raped your ancestors 200, 400 years ago, now you hate black people who happen to be gay? Does that make sense? I'm serious. Does that make any sense? No. That makes no sense at all. And in fact, what you've done is now you are inculcating yourself with this alt-right nonsense. I spoke before about this guy. He's a gay guy. I forgot his name. I never followed him. He was a little bit out of I started with an M. Never started with an M. And he came out talking about how he had been molested when he was younger and it was okay. He lost his book deal. He lost his magazine, and then he had some kind of book deal, I think. He was talking all this racist shit, and he lost that. I forgot the guy's name. He was trying. He's a little stick, his little angle, because everybody in the alt-right movement's a stick. It's about making money off of angry white men. His stick was about saying, just like these guys that put their money towards the border wall, they lost it, didn't they? All those guys spent their money for the border wall. It wasn't even using the border wall. A rich white man using it on something else. I love it. That's the whole alt-right movement is about making a dollar off of angry white men living in the past. When you look at it, that's what it's all about. So when you're out here talking about how you're a proud heterosexual male, that's what you're playing into. You're playing into people who are trying to make a buck off your anger. Can I ask you a question? What does a man wanting to sleep with another man have to do with your marriage? That's something I never understood. A man want to sleep with another man, woman want to sleep with another woman in their house. What does that have to do with you and your wife, your husband? I don't understand. And it goes back to what I often say about Caucasians, that they've always got something to prove. They've always got something to put forward. They've always got an agenda. Even when no one's harmed, even when there's nothing going on that hurts anybody else, they've still got to present an agenda. And I've spoke on just how fucking dangerous that is. It's like a robot that's always on. It never turns off. It can't just live. It can't just abide within the brotherhood of man. It can't do it. Because it's like a man that goes to war and he's like, PTSD. What's wrong with that? Hypervigilance. A lot of them can't sleep. They've got to have guns. They've got to have protection with them all the time, even when it's nothing going on. And that makes them dangerous. Because most people aren't like that. Most people just go to work, come home, maybe watch a little TV, spend time with their family, take care of their business, their bills. That's it. Most folks are not living hypervigilant every day. They're just not. That's what makes PTSD a problem. Not only that, suicidal stuff. I ain't getting into all that. But I just think that's really disgusting to say, because it's really an underhanded way to take away from the homosexual movement, isn't it? It is. When you say on the same month of Pride Month, when you say that it's kind of like if we were to go in February, Black History Month, and a white man says, well, there's more, the crime rate is worse, or if a white man said, I'm sure Dr. King will be proud with how you guys turned Chicago or New York or something. That's insulting. You don't see that? That's insulting to Dr. King and what he's done. By him, he's not taking nothing away from black. He said you can still have it, but he's saying that he's a little sneaky little remark. White lives matter. You know what I mean? Can I ask you a question? When have heterosexual people when have they ever been not prosecuted, but bothered about being heterosexual? Like I told my friend Anthony, this is when we really stopped talking, is that I don't see this big agenda for gay people taking over. I don't see it, especially not with Trump, especially not with the things Trump's putting forward and things. I don't see this agenda that they're putting forward about how the gays are. I don't know where they're getting it. I don't see it. You know what I mean? I see a lot of things going on, but that's not one of them. I see possibility for war. I see a lot of saber rattling, but I don't see any kind of a conspiracy, homosexual conspiracy. I don't see it. And it's not on my list. And I see a lot of hatred, a lot of racism, a lot of viciousness. And I'd like to say that I guess it's because the Nation of Islam is kind of a separatist movement. I don't think they really were ever really down with us. I'm speaking of black liberation. I think they just kind of felt like we're going to do our own thing. Fuck. White man can do what he wants. We're going to do our own thing. And so they're really not that different than the Caucasian. It's just black. And I guess that's kind of their perspective, if you will. It's different, I guess. I guess. So, anyway, peace, y'all.